This is Dustin from Roland, and I'm here with Perfect Circuit. And I'm going to show you the AIRA Compact. 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 I'm going to show you the AIRA Compact.
The AIRA Compacts are a brand new line from Roland, with 3 models dropping at the same time: the T-8 beat machine, the J-6 chord synthesizer, and the E-4 voice tweaker. They're all powered by internal lithium-ion batteries for maximum portability. Driven by ACB, that's analog circuit behavior technology, they pack a huge sound and have a ton of creative performance and programming possibilities. Extensive connectivity options are available, making sure that they play well together and with others. We've got mix in and out for chaining stereo audio, analog sync in and out with adjustable resolutions to match with your other gear or to get creative with timing, 3.5mm Type A MIDI in and out for interfacing and controlling with other gear, as well as MIDI clock, start-stop, and program change. And the USB-C jack on the back is used for recharging the internal battery and class-compliant stereo audio and MIDI over USB. Any or all of the models can easily slide into your existing setup, be it analog, digital, or hybrid.
I'm going to show you the AIRA Compact. 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 I'm going to show you the AIRA Compact I'm going to show you the AIRA Compact.
Let's take a look at each of the AIRA compacts one at a time, and then we'll bring them all back together at the end. So, the T-8 is a 6-track drum machine plus a 303 bass. Let's get started building a beat. We'll use a step sequencer for some kick, and some snares. We can record in real time as well. Let's go back to our step sequencer, add some open hats, and some tom for good measure. We can also do more creative sequencing using things like substeps, probability on each step, as well as velocity per step. Let's add some claps at the end there, and we'll make those a little less probable. We've got sound controls on the top panel, like tune for the kick, as well as decay. Tighten that back up a bit. Same thing for the snare, tune and decay. Hand clap and tom has tune, and then we've got decay for the open and closed hats. Now this is a curated selection of sounds, so you've got your 909 kick, 606 snare and hi-hats, and for the hand clap and the toms, you can switch up the sounds for 808 claps, some different toms, and more. Moving on to the bass section, this is a 303 bass. We can play it on the keyboard by pressing the keyboard button. Now, let's record something in real time. And we're also going to make the last step for the bass 32, so we've got 2 bars. And afterwards, we can go in and edit individual steps if we want. Adding ties, slides, and accents. Great. Tweak our sound a little bit. We've also got effects to the right. So we've got delay and reverb, which we can send each instrument to individually. There's also an internal overdrive, which is more like a bus, so you can send any instrument through it. And then we've got side chaining. If we turn out the overall side chain, we can hear that we're actually going to be ducking the bass, but we're going to be gating the reverb effects. You can get some pretty cool effects like this. The J-6 is a 4-voice Polyphonic Juno 60 synthesizer. Let's select the sound button and we'll choose a preset to work with. Alright, perfect. Now of course you can play the keyboard on the front panel and you can use external MIDI as well, but let's take a look at some of the really unique features of the J-6. Pressing the chord button on the right side here, you can hear that now there are chords laid out across the different keys. And if we hold shift and press genre, we can choose tons of different chords and chord sets from here. Many diatonic, some stranger. Some parallel. Let's choose a minor parallel chord, really traditional chord memory. Perfect. Now, of course, this will feed into all of the other features on the J-6, including the style and variation options here. Now, styles and variations are collections of different musical phrases like arpeggiators. Let's tighten that up a bit. All right, so any chord that we play here will run through that arpeggiator. Let's try some different styles and variations here. Some are more like rhythmic chord phrases and stabs. Let's hear another. Some are more simple. All right, great. And of course, we can turn off the chord button and just play the keyboard using the same style and variation features if we want. Now, this all comes together on the chord sequencer. Let's plug in some chords by simply selecting a step and putting in a chord that we want. Step, chord. And if we don't want to use the chord feature, we can just turn it off for any step and draw in our 4-voice chord. Or single notes, whatever we want, up to 4 voices. Let's play back, see how that sounds. Nice. Turning on the style and variation. Let's choose a different one. You can see that that's applied to the entire progression. Nice. Great, so we've got style and variation and chords in each different chord measure here. Now we're going to go ahead and change the style and variation per measure. So we'll set the first measure to be that style that we have right there. Let's go to measure 5 and we can choose a completely different style and variation. So let's go to one of the arpeggiators here and we'll take a listen to how that's going to sound on 5. Nice. And it continues on. There we go, back to the top with the original variation. So let's make another couple changes. Number 7, we're going to turn on a different arpeggiator, and that's going to sound like this. And then step 8, let's turn on one more different style, and we'll find it here. And it's going to sound like this. Great, so here we have our full sequence. And we can edit, filter, cut off, shift for resonance. Nice. Decay and release. And then shift for attack. Got delay and reverb on board. Nice. The E-4 is a very unique piece. It uses a 1/4-inch microphone input on the front, or alternatively, you can use a TRRS headset mic using the mix out jack on the top. So the vocal input is sent through a mix of different vocal effects and transformations, which can all be used together or separately. You can get really creative with this. So we've got auto pitch and harmony, and auto pitch allows you to either set it to a key to hard tune or correct the voice through that key. We'll set it to C minor. And the harmony allows you to choose different voicings to move diatonically through that key. Moving through C minor. We can also use the auto pitch to set a fixed frequency, which is really great when we add the vocoder in.
Now the voice is set just to one frequency regardless of what the input is. This is really useful for vocoder effects. Of course, we can add the harmony at the same time. For the vocoder, you can change the waveform from the sawtooth variable through a square and pulse all the way to noise. This is great on the octave down.
The output of this section gets fed through the looper next, which has 24 seconds of memory, and it has overdubbing and undo and redo. Then that gets sent to the output effects, which are scatter and reverb, which can be changed to echo, delay, or chorus. The scatter effects are tempo-based, either using the internal BPM, and the looper can auto BPM detect, or of course it can sync up to MIDI clock or sync clock. Scatter is kind of chopping, panning, filtering, a bunch of different effects. Hello, scatter, scatter, hello, scatter. You get the idea. Now let's get the E4 plugged in with the other AIRA compacts once more.
I speak in code, wading through a paradox, in the true reality, I find my mind. Rewinding, controlling, beholding, defining, rewinding, controlling.